Good morning, dear students. My name is Ferhan Mazher, and today is 29th November 2021. Right now, I am with the 11th Cambridge class, and the subject we are studying is Physics 5054. It's Cambridge O levels physics. Today, we have set our hearts to solve October-November 2008 paper 1. The paper is of MCQs. There will be 40 MCQs, and you will have to attempt all of them, and the time allowed for this paper is 1 hour. So let's start this paper. So here we go. October, November 2008, paper 1. So let's start. Question number 1 coming up on your screen. A manufacturer needs to measure accurately the dimensions of a wooden floor tile. The approximate dimensions of the tiles are shown. The length is 0.4 meter, and the width is 0.08 meter, and the thickness is 0.003 meter. So if you convert them into centimeters, the length is 40 centimeter, the width is 8 centimeter, and the thickness is 0.3 centimeter, which is 3 millimeter. So which instruments measure each of these dimensions accurately? A length of 40 centimeter, which is 0.4 meter, can be accurately measured with the help of a meter rule. And the width, which is 8 centimeter, we can use a meter rule. We can also use a vernier caliper. The vernier caliper can measure up to 15 centimeter length. So the vernier caliper can also be used, and we can also use a meter rule. And the thickness is 0.3 centimeter. So for this purpose, the best instrument can be a vernier caliper can be used. We can also use a micrometer. So let's think. Length, for length, definitely meter rule. So the answer is out of A and B. For thickness, we can use micrometer. We can also use vernier caliper, but it will be better to use a micrometer, especially the width, which is 8 centimeter. For it in A and B, we have two options, vernier caliper and micrometer. The best option will be vernier caliper. 8 centimeter length can be measured with the vernier caliper. 8 centimeter cannot be measured with a micrometer. So A looks the best option. The length can be measured with the meter rule. The thickness can be measured with a micrometer, and the width can be measured with a vernier caliper. So A looks the best option to me, and so let's check. Let us check if the A is the answer. We think A is the answer, so let's check from the marking scheme. Okay, so A is the best option. Okay, so A is the right answer, sir. Okay, question number 2 coming up on your screen. A car takes 1 hour to travel 100 kilometers along a main road and then half hour to travel 20 kilometers along a side road. So 100 kilometer was covered in 1 hour, and then 20 kilometer was covered in half hour. What is the average speed of the car for the whole journey? So whenever you find the average speed, the methodology is you find out the total distance traveled and you divide it with the total time. So on your screen, you can see I'm showing my solution. The total distance traveled will be d1 plus d2. So that's 100 kilometer plus 20 kilometer. The total distance will be 120 kilometer. The total time taken in the first section is 1 hour, and the second section is half hour. So the total distance, the total time taken is 1.5 hour. Average speed, the formula for the average speed is total distance traveled divided by the total time taken. The total distance traveled is 120 kilometer, and the total time taken is 1.5 hour. So in your calculator, you will add 120 divided by 1.5 equals 2, and that will give you 80 kilometer per hour. So we think that the distance traveled is average speed is 80 kilometer per hour. So let's check. Do we have that option there? Yeah, C is the option. So we think question number 2, C is the option. Question number 2, C is the option, sir. Okay. How is the motion of a body affected by balanced and unbalanced forces acting on it? So balanced forces, whenever the forces are balanced, the body will move with a constant velocity. And when the forces are unbalanced, there will be acceleration, the velocity will change. So balanced forces, the velocity will remain constant. And when unbalanced forces, the velocity will change. So we think question number 3, C is the right choice. Question number 3, C is the right choice, sir. The diagram represents the moon in its orbit around the Earth. Which arrow represents the direction of the resultant force acting on the moon at the instant shown? You see, whenever something moves in a circular path, the resultant force acting on that body is always towards the center of that circle. The case we have, the moon is orbiting the Earth. So at this moment, the resultant force acting on the moon will be directed towards the center of that circle in which the moon is moving. So I think that A is the best option. Question number 4, let's check the answer. A is the right answer. Okay. The diagram shows two objects on a beam balance in equilibrium, which needs not to be the same. I remember this thing that on the beam balance, when two objects are balanced, their mass is same, their weight is same, and the moment they are producing about the pivot, that is also same. That's why the beam balance is balanced. One thing which might not be the same, that will be the volume. Their volume can be different. Their masses are 100% same. Their weights are same. The moments they are producing about the pivots, they are same. The one thing which cannot be the same, which need not to be the same, is their volumes. So which need not to be the same? Which need not to be the same? So that will be C. It's not important that their volumes are same. They are same or they are not same. Important thing is that their weights are same, their masses are same, and they're producing the equal moments in opposite directions about the pivot. So I think C is the choice. Question number 5, C is the right choice, sir. The mass of a measuring cylinder is measured before and after pouring a liquid into it. So before, when there was only the measuring cylinder, there was no liquid in it, the mass is 110 gram. Then you pour the liquid in it, and now the mass is 149.5 gram. And the volume of the liquid from the measuring cylinder we can measure is 50 centimeter cube. What is the density of the liquid? You know, the density of the liquid is mass divided by volume. So I know the mass, I can find the mass, M2 minus M1. So by this formula, M2 is 149.5 gram and M2, M1 is 110 gram. So just simply subtract them, you will get, okay. So the M1 is 110 gram, M2 is 149.5 gram. So the mass of the liquid will be M2 minus M1, 149.5 minus 110. And that will be 39.5 gram. Volume of the liquid from the measuring cylinder we know is 50 centimeter cube. We know the formula of the density is mass divided by volume. So the mass is 39.5 gram and the volume is 50 centimeter cube. So just enter these values into your calculator. 39.5 divided 50 equals to, and the density will be 0.79 gram per centimeter cube. 0.79 grams per centimeter cube. So let's check. 0.79 grams per centimeter cube. We think that A is the right choice. A. So question number 6, A is the right answer, sir. The diagram shows a uniform half-meter rule balanced at its midpoint. And what is the weight of the metal block? So you see the pivot is in the center, and this weight is on the left side. It's 100 Newton, and it is trying to produce an anti-clockwise turning effect or moment. Its moment arm is 15 centimeter. This metal block, its weight, we don't know. We want to find out its weight, and its moment arm is 20 centimeter. So this is trying to produce clockwise moment because the whole system is balanced. So the anti-clockwise moment will be equals to the clockwise moment according to the principle of moments. So we can find out the mass of the other block. Let me show you. So 100 Newton and moment arm is 15 centimeter. The weight here, I don't know that. I want to find out that. And its moment arm is 20 centimeter. So anti-clockwise moment is equals to the clockwise moment. That's according to the principle of moments. So F1 D1 equals to F2 D2. 100 multiply 15 equals to W multiply 20. So the W will be equals to that 20 will go to the other side. It will divide there. So 100 into 15 divided by 20, and the weight will be 75 Newton. In your calculator, you will enter 100 multiply 15 divided 20 equals to, and that will give you 75 Newton. 75 Newton. 75 Newton. So we think B is the right answer, sir. Question number 7. Let's check. Question number 7, B is the right answer. Now, a piece of uniform card is suspended freely from a horizontal pin. At which of the points shown is its center of gravity? Because now it's balanced, and this is exactly under the point of support, and obviously the center of gravity will be on this line. Here the object is quite wide, so its mass is accumulated here. You can see here because it's wider, but it's also is lengthwise, it goes upward. So the center of gravity, I think, should be on the C. It cannot be on the A, it cannot be on the B, it cannot be on the D, because a lot of body goes in upward direction. So I think C looks the best option to me. It's a guess. Okay, question number 8, C. C is the right answer, sir. Okay. A single spring is loaded with a 1 Newton weight. The load is then increased to 2 Newton and the extension increases by 1 centimeter as shown. So what they are saying, that when you hung 1 Newton load, so they are supposing that that's the unstretched length, that's L naught from here, that's my reference point. So then they change the load from 1 Newton to 2 Newton. So it means they have increased the load by 1 Newton. Okay, so we are talking about the load which has been increased. So the increment in the load is 1 Newton, and the extension shown by the spring is 1 centimeter. Now, two springs that are identical to the first one are put side by side. They are connected at both ends, and 1 Newton weight is hung on them. The load is then increased to 2 Newton. What is the new increase? What is the new increase X in the extension? Now you see, when there was a single, in this case, when there was a single spring, and you increase the load by 1 Newton, from 1 Newton you made it 2 Newton, so there was an increment of 1 Newton. So when there was an increment of 1 Newton in the load, the extension in the spring was 1 centimeter. Now you have given the same change in the load. From 1 Newton, you have changed it to 2 Newton. The change in the load is same, but now there is a change. Here you have two springs which are parallel to each other. Now this load, that increase in the load, will be divided on both the springs. Now that each spring will not experience an increment of 1 Newton load, that increment is divided on both the springs. So that spring, so both the springs individually experience a load of an increment in the load of that is of 0.5 Newton only. So now this time the actual load increment experienced by each spring will be half, because there are two springs which are parallel to each other and they are sharing the load. So now there are two springs, so the load will be kind of divided on them. So there is an increment of 1 Newton load, but because there are two springs parallel to each other, so each individual spring will be experiencing an increment of 0.5 Newton only. So for 1 Newton increment, the extension is 1 centimeter. So when the increment in the load will be only 0.5 Newton, then the extension will be also only 0.5, half of the extension which was before. So the extension in the spring will be 0.5 centimeter. It's a little tricky question, but I hope that you have understood this. So that was question number 9A part, and its answer is 0.5 centimeter. So we have taken A choice. Question number 9A is the right choice, sir. The graph shows how the height above the ground of a bouncing ball changes with time. Which statement explains why the height of each peak decreases with time? Now, you see, whenever the ball is bouncing, the sum of its kinetic and the potential energy is converted into heat energy, because the ball has to overcome air friction. So some heat is produced, and that heat which is produced is lost to the surroundings. So that's the loss of energy, and that's why each time the height of the bounce will be reducing. The question is, which statement explains why the height of each peak decreases with the time? I think the reason is the kinetic energy is converted to thermal energy at each bounce. So I think that B looks the best option to me. You can read all the options. I think question number 10B is the right answer. Question number 10B is the right answer, sir. A option was kinetic energy is converted to potential energy at each bounce. The ball gains energy on impact with the floor, and the D part was the ball is wearing out. So I think question number 10B is the right answer. We have checked it. It's the right answer, sir. Where is the energy released by fusion of hydrogen atoms to form helium? You see, the fusion process, in the fusion process, smaller nuclei come close to each other and they make a larger nucleus. For example, two hydrogen nuclei, they come close to each other and they fuse into each other and they make a nucleus of helium. This is happening on the stars and on the sun. So where is the energy release? Okay, so that's in the core of the sun. Yes, that's the answer, sir. Question number 11, I think D is the right answer. Yeah, question number 11, D is the right answer, sir. A crane lifts a weight of 1000 Newton through a vertical height of 30 meter. It uses 60,000 joules of energy. What is the efficiency of the crane? So the input energy is 60,000 joules. The work done, the useful work done by the crane, it is lifting 1,000 Newton load through a vertical height of 30 meters. So I can calculate the useful work done by the crane. So let me show you my work, and Sure. Okay. So the input energy here is 60,000 joules, and the output energy will be weight into height. That is the useful output energy. That will be weight into height. The weight is 1000 Newton, and the vertical height is 30 meter. So it will be 30,000 joules. So the input energy is 60,000 joules, and the useful output work done by the crane is 30,000 joules. So the efficiency, is the formula useful output energy. I have not written on the slide that useful, but that word is very important. We always say useful output energy divided by the total input energy multiply 100. So that will be 30,000 divided by 60,000 and multiply 100, and your answer will be 50%. So the machine is efficient, and the efficiency is 50%. That's question number 12. Let's check. Do we have that option? Yeah, D is the right option. Question number 12, D is the right answer, sir. Yeah, question number 12, D is the right answer. So next question, a rock climber weight 60 Newton climbs, 600 Newton climbs up a rock face of vertical height 300 meter in 3600 second. What is the average power she generates against gravity during this time? The power is the work done divided by time. The power is work done divided by time. When you move vertically upward, the work done is weight multiply the vertical height gain, and the time taken here is 3600 seconds. So the power will be work done divided by time. Okay, so let me show you my work. I've done this on paper. So here we go. So the power is equals to energy divided by time, because you are going vertically upward. So the energy will be, or the work done will be, weight multiply vertical height divided by time. So 600 Newton multiply 300 meter divided by 3600 seconds. And when you will enter these values into your calculator, in your calculator, you can write 600 multiply 300 divided 3600 equals to, and that will be 50 watts. So the power produced is 50 watt. The power produced is 50 watt. So let's check. 50 watt. I think B is the right answer. Question number 13. Question number 13, B is the right answer, sir. The diagram shows a simple manometer. So here you have the gas supply. Here, I think it's air, and the level, the difference of level is H in both the limbs. The difference of level of the mercury in both the limbs of the manometer is H. So because the level of the mercury on the side which is opened to the atmosphere, that here the level of the mercury is higher, and the level of the mercury which is on the gas supply side, which is R, and there the level is lower, which means that the gas supplies pressure is higher, because it has pushed the mercury upper on the limb which is opening to the atmosphere. So it means that the pressure of the gas in the R is higher than the atmospheric pressure. But how much higher? That is equals to the difference of the level in both the mercury limbs. So I think that R its pressure is H more than the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so let me check the options. Okay. So the side X is connected to a gas supply, side Y is open to the atmosphere. What pressure is the length H used to measure? It's telling you the difference of the pressure between the gas supply and the atmosphere. So what pressure is the length H used to measure? The atmospheric pressure S? No. The difference between the gas pressure R and the atmospheric pressure S. Yes, this is the answer. B is the right exact statement. C is the gas pressure R. No, the sum of the gas pressure R and the atmospheric pressure. No, is telling the difference between them. So the difference, the gas pressure is H more. Uh, so the difference between the gas pressure R and the atmospheric pressure S. So the H is basically representing the difference of the pressure. So we think that question number 14, B is the right answer. So let's check. Question number 14, B is the right answer, sir. Okay, so we have question number 15. The diagram shows the principle of an hydraulic system. So here you have applied a force of 60 Newton. And this is master cylinder, and its area is in the master piston. Its area is 12 centimeters square. Here we have the slave cylinder. Its area is 8 centimeters square. Of the slave piston, its area is 8 centimeters square. He says the cross-sectional area of the master cylinder is 12 centimeters square, and the cross-sectional area of the slave cylinder is 8 centimeters square. The force applied to the master piston is 60 Newton, producing a pressure of 5 Newton per centimeter square. Which line in the table is correct? Okay. So the pressure produced here, that will be force divided by area, and that is 5 Newton per centimeter square. So because this is oil, according to the Pascal's principle, whatever is the pressure produced in the oil here, same is the pressure transmitted to the slave piston. So the pressure here will be also, I think the pressure in the slave piston will be also equals to the pressure which is produced in the master piston, and that will be 5 Newton per centimeter square. And because I know the area of the slave piston and I know the pressure produced in it, so I can calculate the force produced in the slave piston. So let me show you how I have done this. So that's this question number. Okay, so the master cylinder, the force applied is 60 Newton, the area is 12 centimeters square. So I can calculate the pressure, that is force divided by area. So that will be 60 Newton divided by 12 centimeters square. So the pressure in the master cylinder will be 5 meter per centimeter square. And according to the Pascal's principle, the same pressure is transmitted to the slave cylinder. So in the slave cylinder, the piston will be experiencing a pressure of 5 Newton per centimeter square. Its cross-sectional area is 2 centimeters square. And we want to find out how much force is produced in it. We know the formula of the pressure, that is force divided by area. But I will make F the subject of the formula. F is equals to P multiply A. So that will be 5 Newton per centimeter square multiply 8 centimeters square. So the answer will be 40 Newton. So the force experienced by the slave's piston will be 40 Newton. 40 Newton. Okay, so let me reduce the size so you can see the whole question. So the pressure in the slave cylinder will be 5 and the force will be 40. I think C is the right answer, sir. I think C is the right answer. Hopefully you can see that. I think question number, that is question number 15. Question number 15, C is the right answer. Question number 15, C is the right answer. A student needs a double-walled glass vessel to contain a hot liquid. What reduces heat losses by radiation? You see here we have a glass layer, then we have a space, and here we have a glass layer, and then we have air outside. This double layered glass vessel. So if you want to reduce the radiation, the surface should be a band emitter of the radiation. So the band emitter of the radiation will be a silver color. Okay. So the outer surface must be painted silver, and then there will be less radiation from the hot liquid into the air outside. I think B. I think D is the best option. Question number 16. D is the right answer. A thermocouple thermometer is made from two wires connected to a voltmeter. Which arrangement gives a reading on the voltmeter? You see, this is a thermocouple thermometer. Here we have its hot junction. Whenever thermocouple works, it always have two junctions, hot junction and cold junction. And there will be always some difference of temperature between the hot junction and the cold junction. And then the voltmeter will show some voltage, and that will be telling you how much is the temperature. So which arrangement gives a reading on the voltmeter, temperature of the voltmeter? Colder than the hot junction, that's true. Wire X, you see both the wires, one of the wire they have already shown in the diagram is made of copper. The wire X should be a different metal other than copper, so it should be iron, and colder than the junction. The other junction should be cold. It's hot junction, the other junction should be cold. So I think B is the right option. Question number 17, I think B is the right option. Question number 17, B is the right option, sir. Using an electric kettle, 100 gram of water at 100 degrees centigrade is converted into steam at 100 degrees centigrade in 300 seconds. The specific latent heat of steam is 2250 joules per gram. What is the average electric power used? The power is the energy divided by time. So the energy will be, I think, uh, ml and divided by time. Okay, so that will be the power. Sorry, I said energy. It will be the power, and that will be the heat divided by time, and the heat will be ml is the formula. M is 100 gram, and L is the specific latent heat of steam is 2250 joules per gram. So 102,250, and you will divide it with the time. So that will give you the electric power. Okay. So I think B looks the best option to me. ml is the formula for the heat produced when the state is changing, where m is the mass of which is converted, which has converted its state, and L will be the specific latent heat of whatever. So I think B is the right option. Question number 18, B is the right option. Yes, the B is the right option, sir. Okay, the table shows the increase in length of the four metals when heated through the same temperature rise. Each metal initially has the same length. So there is a change in the length of 0.00004 times this 0.000030, and then in the copper we have 0.000020, and then we have platinum. The platinum, the change in the length will be 0.000009, and in the steel we will have 0.000010. So a bimetallic strip is made from two of the metals. When heated, it bends in the direction shown. You see, here you can see that the metal X and metal Y, they have been welded together. So when you heated it, this bimetallic strip banded downward. When it bends downward on heating, it means, what does it mean? It means that the metal X is expanding more because it's making the outer edge of that circular, that arc, and the inner has less increase in the length. Okay, so that's why it has banded downward. It has banded downward because the outer metal X is expanding more as compared to the metal Y. Okay, so now we have different options here. Which metal produces the above fact? The metal X should be something whose expansion is more as compared to the metal Y. So let's see. Let's check. The first option is aluminum and platinum. Aluminum, the X should be expanding more. Aluminum is 0.000030, and the platinum it's yeah 0.000009. I think the aluminum is larger, showing larger expansion that can be on the X, and platinum is showing less that can be Y. So I think A is the best option. We don't, for example, the B, copper, the expansion in the copper is 0.000020, whereas in aluminum, the expansion is more. The metal X should expand more as compared to the metal Y. Then on heating, it will bend downwards. The metal which expands more makes the outer boundary, outer edge of the bend when heated. So we think question number 19, we think A is the right option. Question number 19, A is the right option, sir. When ice melts to become water, which force must be overcome? So here, when the ice melts, you see when it's melting, the bonds are completely broken. So the attraction between electrons and a nucleus, no, that's not right. The attraction between the atoms in a molecule, that's not right. The force between molecules, yes, we have to overcome that. The force of gravity, no. So you have to overcome the force between the molecules when the water is melting, ice is melting basically. So question number 20, I think C is the choice. Yeah, question number 20, C is the right choice. Which factors increase the rate of evaporation of the liquid? Increase in temperature, yes. Increasing its surface area, yes, that's right. Increasing its depth, no. Depth has no effect on the rate of evaporation. So I think B is the right option, sir. B looks the best option to me. Question number 21. Question number 21, B is the right option. Okay. The diagram shows the refraction of the water waves in a ripple tank. The water is shallower above the glass sheet. Okay. So here the water is deep. In this area, the water is deep. And in this area, the water is shallow. So when these waves will enter into the shallow waters, their wavelength will become smaller, their speed will become slower, and they will bend towards the normal. Okay, so when crossing into the shallower region, what is the effect on the frequency and on the speed of the wave? There will be no change in the frequency. The frequency remains unchanged. That's the rule. And when the water enters from deep water into shallow water, there will be no change in the frequency, unchanged, and the wave speed that will decrease. You can see that because the wavelengths have decreased, so the speed of the wave will also uh, decrease. When the wavelength decreases, the speed also decreases. So the frequency will be unchanged, but the wave speed will decrease. So I think C is the choice. Question number 22. I think question number 22. Now you can see the whole question. Question number 22, C looks the best option to me. Question number 22, C is the right option, sir. So question next is, an eye views an object O by reflection in a plane mirror. Which is the correct ray diagram? The methodology is very simple. These reflected rays. So you will prolong them behind the mirror. Okay, so you will prolong them behind the mirror. If they intersect each other on this side of the mirror, then the image will be formed. So let me show you how I have done this. Okay, so you can see with these red lines, I have prolonged these reflected rays behind the mirror. In the A option, you can see they will not intersect each other behind the mirror. In the option B, when I prolong that reflected rays behind the mirror, you can see that they will not intersect each other. In the C option, when you prolonged the reflected rays behind the mirror, you see they intersected each other. So in the C, actually the image will be formed. And in the D again, you can see the red lines. I have prolonged the reflected rays behind the mirror, and you can see that there's no image formed. So I think C is the right option. And C, question number 23, let's check. Question number 23, I think C is the right option, sir. I hope that you have understood that how we have prolonged the reflected rays behind the mirror, and we have chosen that diagram in which the reflected rays, when you prolong them behind the mirror and they intersect each other. So I think C is the best option, sir. Question number 23. Question number 23, C is the right option. Okay, then we have this question, a very, very famous question. It has been repeated in many times in papers, in different papers. He says the array of light enters a glass block at an angle of incidence I, producing an angle of refraction R in the glass. So the light is entering from air into the glass. So several different values of I and R are measured, and a graph is drawn of sine I against the sine R. Which graph is correct? Okay. So you know the refractive index, the formula for the refractive index is, the formula for the refractive index of the glass is sine I by sine R. So in these graphs, you can see the sine I is represented on the y-axis and sine R is represented on the x-axis. So the slope of this graph will be the change in y divided by the change in x. So on the y, we have sine I. So the slope of these graphs is representing sine I divided by sine R. The the sine I divided by sine R represents the refractive index. So the slope of these graphs is equals to the refractive index of this glass. So we have to check mathematically that which slope actually gives refractive index, or the slope which is equals to approximately 1.5. uh, Clearly, I can tell you that the B and the C, they are wrong because their slopes are negative. When a graph, when you move to the right side, goes downward, its gradient is negative. So B and the C, they are straightforward wrong. The reason is that they have negative gradients, but that glass block does not have a negative refractive index. So let me show you my solution to this question. And here you go. So in the option A, I have taken this point on the graph, its x value is 0.5, its y value is approximately 0.8. So you know the slope is rise divided by run. So the rise here is 0.8 and the run is 0.5. So 0.8 divided by 0.5, and the answer will be 1.6. This answer is very close to the actual refractive index of the glass. Okay, the B and the C cannot be the answer because the gradients are negative. In the D, I will take this point. Its x value is 0.8 approximately, and its y value is 0.5. So you know the refractive index formula is the rise divided by run. The slope formula will be rise divided by run, and that will be equals to the refractive index. So here the rise is 0.5 and the run is 0.8. So on your calculator, when you will divide 0.5 with the 0.8, and the answer will be 0.625, and that cannot be the refractive index of this glass, because the refractive index of the glass is approximately 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So A looks the best option to me, sir. I hope that you understand that how we have done this question. I think A is the right option, sir. Question number 24. I think question number 24. A is the right answer, sir. Let's check. Yeah, question number 24. A is the right answer, sir. In a short-sighted eye, short-sighted eye means that the near objects the eye can see, or the observer can see them, the objects which are near, but the far away objects he cannot see clearly. In a short-sighted eye, rays from distant objects are not focused on the retina. There are these rays focused. Where are these rays focused, and what type of lens is needed to crack this problem? When you have short-sighted eye, uh, your uh, your lens is the bends the light too much. So for to remove this, we use a diverging lens. We use a diverging lens. So because the eye lens is bending too much, it's bending too much the light rays. So it makes the image in front of the retina. And to correct this, we need a diverging lens. So I think question number 25, I think D is the right option. Yeah, question number 25, D is the right option, sir. Delicate instruments are often placed in a box to protect them from stray magnetic fields. What is the material used for the box, and why is it chosen? You know that box must be of the soft iron, and it is used because it's a magnetic material. It allows the magnetic lines to flow through it, and it do not let the magnetic lines come inside the box. Okay, so I think which material is used for a box and why it is chosen? We use soft iron because it's a magnetic material. Yes, I think question number 26D is the best. Question number 26B. Question number 26D is the right option. Question number 26D is the right option, sir. Question number 26D is the right option. A piece of polythene is rubbed with the cloth duster. The polythene becomes negatively charged and the cloth becomes positively charged. What happens to the polythene and to the cloth? You see, the polythene has become negative, so the electron has transferred onto polythene. And it means polythene has gained electrons. And the cloth has become positively charged, so it means it has lost electrons. So the polythene has gained electrons and the cloth has lost electrons. So I think D looks the best option. Question number 27, B is the right option, sir. Question number 28. A current in an electric heater is 10 ampere. It is switched on for 5 minutes. How much charge flows through the heater? A very simple and famous formula, that current is equals to charge divided by time. The current is given to us and the time is also given to us, and we want to find out the charge flowing. So you know the formula for the current is I equals to Q divided by T. I is equals to Q divided by T, where I is the current, Q is the charge, and T is the time. Okay, so the current flowing through it is 10 ampere and the time taken is 5 minutes, and we do not take the time in minutes. So I will convert this into seconds. So in 1 minute there are 60 seconds. So in 5 minutes there will be 5 into 60, and there will be 300 seconds. So I is equals to Q divided by T. I want to find out the Q value. So we will make it the subject of the formula. So Q is equals to I multiply T. So I is 10 and the T is 300 seconds. So when you multiply them, that will be 3000 coulomb. 3000 coulomb. Question number 28, 3000 coulomb. Question number 28. Let me check. 3000 coulombs. I think D is the right option. Question number 28, 3000 coulomb. Question number 28, D looks the best option to us. 28, D is the right option, sir. Which graph shows how the current changes with the voltage across a fixed resistance? Okay, so the resistor whose resistance is fixed, um, its IV graph will be a straight line. Its IV graph will be a straight line because the slope of the current voltage is if you represent the current on the y-axis and the voltage on the x-axis, the slope of this graph is I by V, which is the reciprocal, of the resistance. So the for something which whose resistance is constant, the gradient of the IV graph will be also constant. So the graph here who is a straight line, inclined straight line and passing through the region whose gradient is constant throughout and is not zero, that has a fixed resistance. So I think A looks the best option to me. Question number 29. Question number 29, A is the right option, sir. Okay. So the next question, he says the circuit diagram shows a parallel arrangement of resistors. P, Q, R, and S represents the current at the points shown. Which statement is correct? You see, the P is the current which came out of the battery. So at this junction, the P will be divided, and here the R and S, they will be equal to each other, but the amount of R and the S individually, they will be less than the Q because in this branch the resistance is less, so the amount of current flowing here will be larger. Current likes that path which has less resistance. So the larger amount of current will flow through the 10 ohm resistor, and less current will flow through the 20 ohm resistor. The amount of current which is entering into the resistor and the amount of current which is coming out of the resistor, they should be equal to each other. So R and S will be equal to each other, and Q will be larger than R and S, and the P will be equals to the sum of the Q and R. So P will be larger than the Q, and it will be also larger than the R, and it will be also larger than S. So which statement is correct? P is greater than Q, that is right. Q is equals to R, that's wrong. R is greater than S, that is wrong. R and S both are equal. S is equal to P. S is equals to P, that is also wrong. P is greater than Q, that is true because P is the current which came out of the battery, and here it divided into two uh, parts. So the Q will be less than P. So P is larger than Q. So I think A is the right option. Question number 30, A is the right option, sir. So let's check. Question number 30, A is the right option, sir. An electric heater is rated at 3 kilowatt. Electric energy costs 20 cents per kilowatt hour. What is the cost of using the heater for 5 hours? You can see we can find out the cost of using an electric appliance. The formula is power multiply time multiply price of 1 unit. So Let me show you. Okay, so now you have the power is 3 kilowatt. The price is 20 cents per kilowatt hour, and the time is 5 hours. So the cost will be power multiply time multiply price. But the power should be taken in the kilowatts and the time must be taken in hours. So the power is 3 kilowatts, the time is 5 hours, and the price is 20 cents per kilowatt hour. So the final answer will be 300 cents, which is $3. So basically the answer is 300 cents. 300 cents. Question number 31. 300 cents. Do we have that answer? Yeah. D is the right option. Question number 31, D is the right option. Question number 31, D is the right option, sir. What is the purpose of a circuit breaker in an electric circuit? You see, the circuit breaker basically it controls. It's a safety device, and if the current will exceed a certain limit, the breaker will trip. To change alternating current into direct current, that's wrong. To keep the current constant, that is also wrong. To prevent the current from becoming too large, that is true. If the current will become larger than the rating of the breaker will trip. So I think C is the right option, sir. 32C is the right option. Which of the diagrams is a cross section through two parallel current carrying conductors? Which diagram shows correctly the magnetic field pattern and the direction of the forces on the two conductors? You see both the conductors, one conductor is represented with the cross and the other conductor has been represented with the dot. Dot means that the current is coming out of the page, and the cross means that the current is going into the page. So they both will, if you have two parallel conductors and the direction of the current in them is opposite, so then they means that they are supposed to repel each other. So for the repulsion is shown on the C part and the D part. And whenever the repulsion is shown, this hugging diagram cannot be made. You see, this is we call it hug. So both the wires are hugging each other. That is not possible because both the wires are repelling each other. So I think C is the best option, sir. Whenever you have two parallel conductors and the direction of the current in them is different, one is dot, the other one is cross, and then they will repel each other. So C looks the best option, sir. Question number 33, C looks the best option. Yes, question number 33, C is the right option, sir. The EMF induced in a conductor moving at right angles to a magnetic field does not depend upon the length of the conductor. It depends upon the length of the conductor. The resistance of the conductor, yes, it does not depend upon the resistance of the conductor. The speed of the conductor, it depends upon the speed of conductor. The strength of the magnetic field, 100%, it depends upon the strength of the magnetic field. So the length of the conductor, the speed of the conductor, the strength of the magnetic field, on all these three factors, yes, it depends. The one thing on which it does not depend is the resistance of the conductor. So question number 32, B is the right option. 34, sorry. Question number 34, B is the right option. Question number 34, B is the right option, sir. The diagram shows how the voltage output of a simple generator varies with the time. You see, it's a very simple question. The AC generator produces alternating current, and it's the shape of the graph is always a sinusoidal wave, like the water wave, and it goes above the time axis. It also goes below the time axis. It shows positive voltage, then it shows negative voltage. It's like the wave of water. We call it sinusoidal waves. So I think that the A is the best option. Very simple and straightforward question. No confusion in it. Question number, which question we were doing? Question number 35. Question number 35A is the right option, sir. The diagram shows a working transformer. So here you can see we have primary coil, here you have secondary coil. The number of the turns in the primary coil are less. The number of turns in the secondary coil appears to be more. So it's a step up transformer. It will increase the voltage, but it will reduce the current. Which statement is correct? The input voltage is DC. No, the transformers always, we give them alternating current because they on alternating current they automatically work. The input voltage in the primary coil is DC. That's wrong. The input voltage is greater than the output voltage. That is also wrong. It's a step up transformer because the number of turns on the secondary coil are more, so it's a step up transformer. So the output voltage will be larger than the input voltage. The input voltage is less than the output voltage. Yes, that is 100% correct statement. The input voltage is the same as the output voltage. That is wrong. So I think question number 36, C looks the best option. Question number 36, C looks the best option. Yes, that's true. Okay. The electric circuit shown is used to study the charging of capacitor C. The neon lamp lights when the potential difference across the capacitor C reaches 110 volt. C, or the capacitor, then discharges through the neon lamp. When the C has discharged, the lamp goes out and the potential difference across the C slowly increases once more. What is the effect of increasing the resistance of R? You see, if you will increase the resistance here, so it will take larger voltage. The voltage provided here will be less. So the capacitor will take longer time to charge. So when the capacitor will take longer time to charge, so this neon lamp will also take longer time to switch on again. So the lamp lights up and goes out at the same rate. That's wrong. The lamp lights up and goes out less frequently. Yes. The lamp lights up and goes out more frequently. No. The lamp will not go out at all. That's wrong. So question number 37, I think B looks the best option to me. Question number 37, B is the right option, sir. What occurs in the decay of a radioactive nucleus? So what occurs in the decay of a radioactive nucleus? The nucleus absorbs another nucleus. No, I think the nucleus absorbs at least one form of radiation. Maybe the nucleus always splits into two equal fragments. No, definitely not. The nucleus emits at least one form of radiation. That is 100% true. Whenever a decay happens, a form of radiation is given out, whether it's alpha, whether it's beta, or it's gamma. So I think question number 38, D looks the best option to me. Question number 38, D looks the best option, G. It is the best option. Okay. Question number 39, the radioactive nucleus RB 3787 decays with the emission of a beta particle. How many protons and neutrons are left in the nucleus? Okay, so let me show you. So you see this parent nucleus, it has 37 protons. Its nucleon number or the mass number is 87. So it will give out beta particle. The daughter nucleus, its proton number will increase by 1. That's the characteristic of the beta decay, that whenever a beta particle is given out, the daughter nucleus will have one more proton number as compared to the parent nucleus. The mass number or the nucleon number of the daughter nucleus and the parent nucleus is same. There will be no change. So the X, I'm showing X as the daughter nucleus here, its proton number will be 38, and its nucleon number will be 87. So the protons are 38 in the daughter nucleus, and the new number of neutrons will be the nucleon number minus the proton number. 87 minus 38, and that will be 49. So in the daughter nucleus, you see the proton number will be 38 and the neutrons will be 49. 38, 49. Remember this number, 38, 49. 38, 41. The number of protons will be 38 and the number of neutrons will be 49. Hopefully you understand. So C is the right choice, sir. 39C is the best and the right choice, sir. Okay. This is the Geiger and Martin experiment. A narrow beam of alpha particle is fired at a thin piece of gold foil. What is the final direction of the largest number of alpha particles? That's the Geiger and Martin experiment. You have studied this in your physics. You have also studied it in your chemistry. They bombarded a very thin gold foil with alpha particles, and most of the alpha particles went straight. They went straight, undeflected. They went straight, most of the alpha particles. So the most of the alpha particles went straight. So I think B is the best option. I think B, sorry, A is the right option. Question number 40, A is the right option. Question number 40, A is the right option. Question number 40, A is the right option. The most of the alpha particles went straight, like nothing has came in their path. So from there, they predicted about nucleus. They said that most of the space in an atom is empty. So, my dear students, we have reached the last question. We are done with this the paper. Today, we have done October, November 2008, paper 1. There were 40 questions in this paper. We have attempted all of them. I have tried my best so that to make it easier for you, I have tried to explain the concepts to best of my ability. If you find, my dear students, this video interesting and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to like this video. If you think this video has helped you and it can help your seniors, your juniors, whoever is studying Cambridge O-levels physics, share the link of this video with your friends. Also post the link of this video on your Facebook and on your Instagram, because that will be a very good and great appreciation for my work, and that your appreciation is my energy. It's a great pleasure for me to teach you online. Thank you very much. Have a good day. God bless you all.